Welcome to this new episode of Insights by Zarity Health, where we discuss topics related to everyday health with experts. I'm Abhimanyu Chauhan, CEO and co-founder at Zarity Health and the host of this podcast. My aim from these conversations is to get practical takeaways that people like you and me can start implementing today. Today, we continue the discussion on health supplements, and if you haven't already, check out our previous episodes. One where we talk about why health supplements, and the other where we also discuss multivitamins. So it was really interesting to learn that if you put multiple vitamins in a pill or a capsule, it's just called multivitamins. But there's much more to that in that episode. Today's episode is going to be interesting. We are going to look at a couple of supplement labels, and Dwija is going to help decipher a lot of them. We are going to talk about what is a good health supplement and what is a bad health supplements, and also look at practical images of what is a clinical grade supplement and what is a dietary grade supplement. Let me go ahead and invite my speaker for today.
Hi, my name is Dwija. I am a pharmacist turned entrepreneur. Before this, I worked with Zydus, Cadila and Pfizer India. And currently, I'm the co-founder at Zarity Health, where I lead clinical product and operations.
Let me start off by asking you the very first question, that why should we care about the supplement labels, Dwija?
Like we discussed in the previous episodes, supplement labels are not straightforward. Supplements are not regulated by the same authorities who regulate medicines. So the rules and regulations are not as stringent. The quality is not as good as they should be. Right? There is a lot of gray area, practically speaking, and a supplement label, when you look at it, you might not really know what is good in it, what is not good in it, because it's not really regulated. So we don't want people like you and me ending up wasting so much time and money over wrong kind of supplements. It's better to know about what qualifies as a good supplement by looking at real images so that you make smarter choices while buying them.
Okay. Before we talk and delve deep into the topic, help me understand what am I going to take away from this discussion with you?
First thing is, you'll be able to spot good quality supplements out of the many supplements that are available in the market. The second thing is, you'll know what is good for you, and probably that will help you save a lot of money because you'll not buy the wrong kind of supplements. So yes, two key takeaways.
Okay, great. I want to understand the difference between a food grade and a clinical grade supplement. That's where we left the last discussion, and I want to go deep into that. And then also understand why is it very important for me to know the difference between the two.
Okay, supplements, there are two types, food grade and clinical grade. Food grade are also called nutraceuticals, and the other ones are called pharmaceuticals. The first difference between them is the pharmaceutical ones are more regulated. They are considered as medicines. The quality, the clinical trials, all of them have been done for these supplements versus the food grade supplements for which these are not done. So quality could be a question mark. Clinical trials have mostly not been done for these supplements. The other difference is that the food grade supplements do not require a prescription versus the other ones require prescription. They are generally prescribed by a doctor only. So all the ads that you see on maybe social media, or if you go to maybe a medical store and ask for a multivitamin, what they'll generally give you is a food grade supplement. Does not require a prescription. For example, Zincovit, which we have all taken a lot during COVID times. That is a food grade supplement. And Limcee, which is a vitamin C supplement, which a lot of doctors give to patients, that is a medicinal grade supplement.
So Zincovit is a food grade supplement. It's not a clinical grade supplement. How do you identify something as a food grade and how do you identify something as a medical grade or clinical grade supplement? So let's look at Zincovit image.
So the first thing that you will notice in a food grade supplement is the FSSAI logo that's there.
Okay.
So
Right.
that is the number one thing. The second thing is something like supplement written or not for medicinal use
Okay.
or nutraceutical. All these terms are mentioned on the label. So that helps you identify this as a food grade supplement.
Okay. Let me look at Limcee. So Limcee is a clinical grade supplement. Help me understand, how do I notice that here?
So you'll not see any FSSAI logo
Oh, interesting.
anywhere on the carton. The second thing is, if you see at the bottommost line that is mentioned, it says medicine. So, which means that it is a medicine grade supplement. The other thing that you'll see is there's a warning that is mentioned in the red, which says that it is to be taken only on the prescription by a practitioner, and the dosage is fixed for them. The storage conditions are fixed for them, which may or may not be present on a food grade supplement.
Understood. So what we see here clearly is that there is a warning that to be sold by retail on the prescription of registered medical practitioner only. That's one sign, and the other sign is it says that it's a medicine. So you need to again an insight that you need to keep out of the reach of children. And what Zincovit, like you rightly mentioned, is the FSSAI logo. That's the easiest to spot. If it is FSSAI, it's a food grade supplement. Great. Okay. Let's now just look at the front or the face of a supplement. Let's pull out an image here and try to understand. We'll probably try and morph the brand name out, not calling out the brand name here. Help me understand this.
Generally, what on the face of a supplement is, one is the brand selling it. The other is the type of supplement this is. So, for example, here it is a multivitamin, right? Generally, it will also have a description which mentions what kind of a multivitamin is. So, here it says that it is multi-mineral, has amino acids and some extracts also. This does not really mean that these are the only things that are present here. Think of this as a tag that you have for brands. Does not mean that this is the only content present. Then there are some other logos here which say energy, stamina, immunity.
Yeah.
Again,
Vegetarian as well.
Yes. When logos like immunity, stamina, energy, they are all claims by the brand. Clinical trials may or may not have been done for food grade supplements. This is something that we need to remember.
Right.
So there's this logo again and the license number. At the bottom, we are identifying it as a food grade supplement. If you see on the left side, you will see net quantity 60 written here.
Right.
Tell me what you understand from this.
The first thought that comes to my mind is that this is good for at least 60 days. If I'm taking one a day or if I'm taking maybe two a day, it's good for 30 days.
So mostly what we think is the number of tablets is the number of days that a bottle will last us or a tablet will last us, right? So there are a lot of supplements where you see 120 tablets, capsules in it. It comes in a huge bottle. And we think that it is going to last us 120 days. But this number, the net content means nothing to us till we look at the serving size.
Got it. Serving size is the next important thing that you need to look at. So what I'm getting from the front page or the front face of the brand is that I got the FSSAI logo. So it's a dietary supplement. And then I need to know that these claims, these good looking logos, energy, immunity and stamina are claims by the brand. And they are not been, mostly they'll not be clinically tested. If at all, it's there, it will be written on the label as well. And you spoke about the first hero elements mentioned here, like it's a multi-mineral amino acids, but that's not the only thing present in the supplements. I need to look at their labels, which is where we want to get at. I'm going to pull out a new label for you, which is what you shared with me, and help me understand this now. How do I understand serving size?
Right. So when you look at, there is something called supplement facts or nutritional information that is mentioned on the back side of the label, not the front. So we discussed the face of it. The back side will have something like a table. And if you see, there is something called serving size for capsules written, which means that you need to take 4 of these capsules every single day. Serving size is basically the number of times that you have to take this particular thing or the quantity you have to take in a day. So this bottle contains 120 capsules, but you need to take 4 capsules per day. So this container is going to last you only 30 days and not 120 days, which you might think looking at the quantity as 120 on the face of the label.
Where do you see 120 capsules here? Still trying to understand, a lot of things are written here.
So 120 is written on the face of it.
Face of it. That's what you know already. It's not written here.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So on the back side, when you see, you'll see the serving size, which says 4 capsules.
Got it.
So this is going to still last you only 30 days. Generally, most of the pack sizes are for 30 days. So it's really very important to see the serving size and then accordingly buy, and not buy
Okay.
based on the number of.
Number. Okay, so serving size is really important when you're buying this. So it helps you determine how many days is it going to last. And then it says serving per container. So they have divided that number and given you like, okay, 30 days this is going to last.
Yeah. Also
Hmm.
see the suggested use that is mentioned. It
Hmm.
gives you a textual kind of brief about it. Adults have to take 4 capsules daily.
Right.
And it also tells you how you need to take these
With
supplements,
breakfast.
right?
Yeah, and with
Yeah.
lunch. Okay.
And this is particularly important to not ignore how to take these supplements. Well, you might think that why can't I take these 4 capsules together? Why do I need to split it? I'll give you an example, something very crucial for calcium supplements, which generally come in these multiple serving sizes. So, generally, you'll see calcium supplements are 2, 3, 4 that you need to take in a day. So if you take all these 3 or 4 capsules together, the problem could be that you'll have too much calcium in your stomach, and at a time the body can absorb only 500 mg of calcium. So if you're not splitting the dosage and you're taking everything together, there could be an instance where you might have too much calcium at a time and the body might still only absorb 500 mg and the rest would be excreted out.
Oh,
Right?
interesting. So one is the serving size, and then they are also telling you how to take it. So they are asking you in this label, specifically speaking, to split between 2 and 2, breakfast and lunch. And for calcium, you're saying that if I am taking all of them, let's say 4 of them together, I might not even be getting that to my body.
Yes.
Okay, very
Right.
interesting.
You could go by what is the suggested use given by the manufacturer. But again, because it is a nutraceutical,
Yeah.
everything is not very clearly mentioned by all the brands. So
Okay.
even your clinical nutritionist would be able to help you understand when to take a supplement, what foods go with the supplement for maximum absorption and such thing.
So what you're saying is this suggested use is not mandated to be written on the pack, or will I always find it on the pack?
In most cases, you will find it on the pack, but how descriptive it is, that is not clearly defined what you need to write. So somebody might write suggested use as adults to take 4 capsules daily, or 4 capsules, not even write adults. Could mention about splitting it, might not mention about splitting it. It's not really very clearly defined as to what is to be mentioned. So it's best to ask an expert to get the best out of it.
Yeah, maybe the other way to look at it is that if it is telling you that, hey, look, take it 2 with breakfast and 2 with lunch, and if your expert is telling you that, no, take 3 with this, or maybe split it 1 in 4 times a day, that is what you should be believing rather than the generic advice mentioned on the pack, because it's not really personal. It's just giving you a broader advice on how to take it, right?
And like we discussed in the last conversation as well, there are supplement and nutrient interactions. So you might be taking certain kinds of food and the supplements might be interacting with it. So if your nutritionist is planning out a diet for you, they know what nutrients you're getting, and accordingly, for maximum absorption and contraindications, it would be better if they plan out your supplements rather than going by a generic advice.
Understood. All right, let's go back to the next image that we can pull up. So I see a lot of information here, and it's like just loaded with a lot of micronutrients. I see a lot of types of protein. Help me understand this.
After we look at the serving size, the next thing that is very crucial for us is this table. This table is basically the nutritional information about the supplement. It will have a list of all the ingredients that are present, all the active ingredients. Every supplement will have 2 parts to it. One would be the active ingredients, and the other one is the excipients, like we talked about the last time. Excipients are the inert substances that are added.
Colorants, it's other extra things.
Correct. This table will have only the ingredients, the active ingredients that are present in the supplement. For example, if it is a multivitamin, then it will have all the vitamins that are present in it. The second column that is there is the quantity per serving. Each serving, so for example, if it is 4 capsules, how much will those 4 capsules contain? Not one capsule. It is always a quantity per serving. So if you're taking how much they are recommending you take, this is what you will get.
Hold on. We looked at the front face of the label and we noted that there are, let's say, 120 capsules in that packet. So that's not really important for me because I need to figure out that if I need to take it for 30 days, I need to look at the back of the label, which is a serving size. Now, if I'm
Right.
taking 2 capsules or 3 capsules, or in that case, it was 4 capsules and 120 units in that, so it'll last me 30 days. That's the serving. 4 capsules is one serving. And what you're telling me here is that this is describing the serving. So the number of capsules that are there is almost not important to look at. It's the 4 capsules on one serving is what you should be focusing on. I've seen a lot of brands play with this. Okay. And when I calculate this, and this happens a lot in protein, that it contains 20 scoops or 30 scoops or 40 scoops or whatever they're right there. And then when you look at the serving size, it'll say that 4 scoops per serving or 3 scoops per serving. And then you realize that you don't just need one bottle, you need probably 3 bottles that last for 1 month. And most people would just take 1 scoop and put it in their glass of milk or water and take it, and then that doesn't suffice. So that's very important. So just quickly wanted to highlight that point here, that we are talking about one serving in this case. If you go by the example, it's 4 capsules of that last thing. And this is what contains in those 4 capsules, not just one.
Yes.
Very
Right.
interesting. Yeah.
So if you are self-diagnosing and self-calculating and you're saying, okay, I'll not take four of these, maybe it's just written. There are a lot of people who think that whatever is mentioned is just mentioned for the sake
Yeah.
of it. Let me just take one capsule. So then the quantity of ingredients that you'll get is also going to be 1/4 of what is mentioned here, right?
Okay.
Because this is mentioned for 4 capsules/1 serving. If you are reducing the number of capsules you take, you are reducing the serving. So you are reducing the ingredients that you're taking in.
Again, just to highlight that we are looking at different labels, not the same label. So just divide. So if it is 2 capsule per serving, divided by 2 if you're just taking 1 capsule. So just to highlight it again and again, that we are not looking at the labels of one single supplement. These are different labels belonging to different supplements, just for the sake of discussing it here.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the reason that this has been pulled out is this is a clean supplement. This is how a supplement label should look like. And I'm talking about only the nutritional facts here. It should ideally be having 3 columns. One is the ingredients, the other is quantity per serving, and the third one is percentage RDA. Percentage RDA, like the last time, when we discussed what our RDAs are, basically how much of that nutrient you require in a day, considering you have a 2000 calorie diet. So that is how RDAs are formulated, and MR publishes it, and it is revised from time to time. Every nutrient will have some percentage RDA mentioned here. So wherever you see a dash, RDAs are not being published by ICMR for them.
I read something at the bottom of the label, what you speak about, that RDA values as established by the ICMR 2010 and Codex, if I'm pronouncing it right, Alimentarius for men, sedentary work. This is very important. And then dash where the percentage RDA values are not established. So this RDA is for somebody who's doing sedentary work, right? And then it talks about serving. Okay, and let's take an example. If I need to take 4 capsules, which is part of one serving, that's for a sedentary work. And I'm going to highlight that again, that if when you're speaking to the experts and they're giving you, let's say, 6 capsules for this, which is a lot. Okay, and so in most cases, you'll be given some other supplement which has just more power and 2 capsules in it. But in that case, if somebody's giving you 6 capsules and they're an expert, we should not be alarmed.
How I would look at it is vitamins and minerals are generally required in a certain quantity only. It does not vary too much with the calorie requirement. So calorie and energy and proteins and fats, all of these are correlated. So what you're talking about is very true when it comes to protein supplements, but not so much when it comes to vitamins and minerals. You will generally require the same amount of vitamins and minerals if you are a healthy adult, and most of us come under the sedentary lifestyle classification according to ICMR. Most of us will have the same vitamin and mineral requirement. So if you're somebody who's buying supplements from US, maybe because they are considered better quality, this percentage RDA is replaced with something called percentage DV or daily value. It's the same thing as RDA. So RDAs are different for different countries. So Indians have a different requirement versus somebody who is American. Based on that, the labels would look something like this, but percentage RDA will be replaced with percentage DV. But it again means the same thing, that how much of this vitamin or mineral am I getting from this particular serving
Got it.
through the day. So when you say something like 100% RDA, vitamin, if you see here, the first ingredient mentioned on the right side,
40
vitamin C,
milligrams. Yeah.
40 milligram, 100% RDA, which means through this capsule, if I'm taking whatever the serving is recommended to me, I'm getting 100% of what is my daily requirement through this. So my 100% RDA is met.
This
So
is in one
something-
serving. This is in one serving.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Not one capsule or one tablet, one serving, which
Got
could
it.
be any number of capsules or tablets. Something, and it could be as low as 1%, 2% also, which could mean that you're not getting too much out of this
Okay.
supplement.
So is it specifically put here that vitamin B5, 8%, 0.4 micrograms? Right? So if you're putting, why is this put in such a low number here? Or is this something just to increase the number of items in the list?
Yes, because there's no particular restriction on what qualifies as a multivitamin, and generally our tendency is that if we see a long list of ingredients in it, we think that it's better. But there could be a lot of instances where everything is present in such small quantities with a long list, and it is not going to serve you any purpose. So for example, here if you see vitamin B5, you're getting less than 10% here. So there are very high chances that if you're taking this, you might still be deficient of vitamin B, because the supplement here is giving you less, and if your food is also not complementing enough, then you might be taking a multivitamin and still be deficient. So this has been a long standing debate, and FDA has put out a tip on their website which talks about how do you understand that percentage DV or percentage RDA is good or not. Anything which has any supplement which has more than 20% of the RDA. So any ingredients, for example, vitamin C here is 100%, it's more than 20%. So anything which is more than 20% is considered as a high amount or a good source. And anything which is below 20% is considered as a poor source of that particular ingredient.
So what would your tip be here? So another quick question here, that I see that the numbers, I see that vitamins are sorted in some fashion, but the percentage RDA is not sorted. Is that by design, or is this like a pattern that the FSSAI in this case has given, that you have to list it in this way?
So the active ingredients do not require to be in the descending order of their quantity. So the highest being on the top. That's not true for active ingredients, but that is true for other ingredients or the excipients. That whatever inert substances you are adding, they have to be mentioned in the decreasing order of their quantity. So the highest one, which most probably would be a bulking agent, or in some cases purified water or something, that's the maximum in it, so it will be on the front. But not so much, not true for labels.
Okay.
So you most probably they are clubbed by the category of the work
micro
they.
that's there.
It could be vitamins clubbed together, minerals clubbed together, or you will also see something bone related, everything written together, then heart related written together.
Yeah.
So I don't think there are very specific guidelines on how you need to arrange these
Looks
ingredients.
like that. Yeah. Yeah, very interesting, because I see a lot of videos and posts out there saying that, okay, the ingredients should be, they are mostly listed, the nutritive values are listed in descending order, but that's not true in this case. And can you highlight what's an active ingredient and what's an excipient, looking at this label particularly?
Excipients are not mentioned here in this particular label. It would be on the other side, or maybe on the side. But this is what an active ingredients table looks like. This contains all the ingredients that are active, or they are supposed to be added to have some efficacy or some effect on the body.
Understood.
I'll also want you to pull out one of the supplement labels on how a label should not look like.
So here is an example which you have shared how ingredients should not be mentioned. All right.
Okay, if you see, this does not have anything written in terms of what kind of vitamin C is it, what is the source of it.
So what you have shared here is it's sharing the nutrition label in a very broad manner. I can see
Right.
so the last label that you shared, it's like a clear-cut tabular form. Here I just see 3 columns where I see the name of the ingredient, amount per serving, and percentage DV. Okay, in this case, daily value
Hmm.
is what you're doing. Okay, and you're talking about the first vitamin C, 36 milligrams, if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken. Okay.
A good label will always have the source or the salt from where this ingredient is derived. This is very important, especially for calcium supplements. So, for example, calcium can be produced from calcium carbonate, calcium citrate, all of these different salts will give you calcium, right?
Sorry,
And
it says calcium here, 300 milligram. The label is bleak, but I can read that here.
yes,
So you're
right.
talking about this calcium, and it does not tell you the type of. What does a salt mean in this case? I just see calcium and it's 300 milligram.
So, it's not mentioned here.
Okay.
Generally, it will be mentioned here
Okay.
itself. It should say something like calcium from calcium carbonate, and then it should mention what it is. The
Okay.
source of calcium or source from where these ingredients are being derived is very important, because different salt forms have different absorption rates and different
Okay.
kinds of side effects,
So give me an
right?
example. You're talking about calcium there. Give me an
Right.
example.
For example, calcium carbonate versus calcium citrate. Both are sources of calcium and both are widely used in calcium supplements or multivitamins also. Calcium citrate is more readily absorbed compared to calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate tablets are also bulkier compared to citrate tablets.
But why is
Or
that so? Why do they give you two different types? Is it like a cost effective thing that's going on there, or why do these brands do this?
why do different salts exist is because there is continuous research happening, and different salts are being formulated which have better properties, different properties, and all of them are safe to be used. So a manufacturer can use either of them depending on either the costs or depending on how well it is absorbed or how bioavailable it is. All of them are approved salts, but all of them have different properties. For a layman, it does not matter where the calcium is coming from. But if a good label will have the source of it, and an expert will able to see what is the source and which one is to be suggested to you. So there are a lot of supplements which can cause uneasiness in the stomach because of the salt that they have.
Because of the type of the salt that's there.
Yes.
So
Yes.
as an
So
expert or the person who's prescribing it, for them, this is very important. That's what you're trying to tell me.
right.
Interesting.
This is how a supplement label should not be, because it has very incomplete kind of information here. Like, you don't know the source of any of the ingredients that are mentioned.
Mm.
So it just has the elemental name mentioned,
Right.
nothing apart from it. This is something that you should avoid, these kinds of supplements which do not give you the source as well, which should be mentioned in the table itself.
But this is allowed. This kind of a label is allowed in India. And I
Yes.
can see that this is an actual label and it says percentage DV. So does this mean that it's meant for the US and it's being retailed here as well?
Yes.
And you
Yes.
can do that. You
Percentage.
can sell labels which have percentage DV instead of RDA written on it.
Yes, that's allowed.
So how am I going to get my percentage RDA from this value? So does this value correspond with the Indian diaspora? Can you, or is it different?
It is different for certain elements and certain
Okay.
vitamins and minerals.
Hmm.
The best practice is to maybe get supplements which have percentage RDA written on them, because
Okay.
we know that it is for the Indian population and it has been devised by ICMR. Instead of going for something which has percentage DV, it's better to go for something with percentage
RDA.
RDA mentioned.
Understood.
There
Okay.
is one more label that I would want to discuss.
All right.
Yes, so if you look at this label, it has
Firstly, let me
something
point
called.
out this is way better than the last label that we saw. clear cut, looks like an Excel file. I don't need to wear my reading glasses, even if I don't have them. And a lot of columns out there, a lot of things going on here for me.
But the problem is, there are a lot of people who can get confused here. I'll tell you why. There are all these nutrients mentioned here. Then there is
Yeah.
something called quantity per 100 gram.
It's the second column here.
Yes.
Okay.
The third column is quantity per serving. And then the fourth column is percentage RDA.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So most of us, when we are looking at the labels, what we'll look at is quantity per 100 gram. And we'll see, okay, इसमें तो काफी ज़्यादा nutrient है. What we actually need to see is quantity per serving, like we discussed earlier. This is one additional column that is mentioned here, quantity per 100 gram.
Let me share this anecdote with you. So we all binge on namkeen packets, and there is particularly types of fried grams or dal available in these top brands, and they promote themselves as a rich source of protein. And as guilty as we are to consume these packets of namkeen when we are traveling particularly, you feel also good about it that, look, I'm eating something fried, but I'm going to get some protein out of it as well. But then when you look at, I specifically looked at that label and said that if I want to get that much amount of protein, I need to gorge on this entire packet in one. So that serving size is one packet, and that's the amount of protein I'm going to get. So it was absolutely like you can't eat the entire packet in one sitting or one serving,
Right.
or else that's the only food that you're going to have. So I think this is something very similar to that approach, that quantity per
Yes.
100 gram and quantity per serving.
So quantity per 100 gram means nothing for us as users. We do not need to look at it. They look like very good numbers, but actually what you're having is quantity per serving. And the RDA is calculated only based on quantity per serving, not quantity per 100 gram. For example, if you look at dietary fibers, you'll see in 100 gram, you have 14 grams of dietary fiber. But in one serving, you're getting only 2.8 gram. What we generally tend to say is, okay, this has got 14 gram of fiber. This is really high fiber product. Let me go ahead and consume it. You're not consuming 100 grams in one day. What you're having is the recommended serving, which will give you only less than 3 grams of fibers. This might not be a good source of fiber for you. And the percentage RDA, if you look at, is less than 12. So less than 12% of your total requirement of fiber is coming through this particular product. Which also reminds me of one of the ads that I recently saw of a health drink, which is so misleading. If you look at it, it talks about calcium and its daily requirement. And when you pull out a label, there's another story altogether.
Let's go to that. Let's play that video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
क्या हुआ दीदी?
बस दिल किया ड्राइंग रूम का लुक बदलूं।
और पीठ ने सॉरी बॉस कह दिया। पीठ आपकी बात तब मानेगी जब आप उसकी बात मानोगे। पता है 30 के बाद बोन डेंसिटी कम होने लगती है। चुनिए विमेंस हॉर्लिक्स, इसकी नई पहचान है हॉर्लिक्स विमेंस प्लस। ये देता है 100% कैल्शियम और विटामिन डी, जो बोन स्ट्रेंथ को लॉक करने में मदद करे। अगर दिल की सुननी है, we have to stand strong.
Okay, 100% daily calcium.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Let
now
me
I
pull out
would
the
want you
label.
to...
Yeah.
Yes. This is
This
the
is the label
actual
from that
label.
exact. Okay. Yeah.
This is the RDA that is there. This is the 1000
Where-
mg is what we require. I don't know why this is not mentioned here. Percentage
Why
RDA is
there's no
missing.
RDA percentage RDA mentioned here. It says 100 gram, and it has no percentage serving also written here. Amount of
Right.
Okay. And this is a nutrition label, folks. So this is not just, this is from their own website.
Correct. So if you see, it has calcium 1000 mg, which is, by the way, the 100% RDA. So what they're saying in the advertisement,
Sahi
that
hai,
is correct. But if you see the quantity, you're getting that 1000 mg from 100 gram of this product. This product
Okay.
is 400 gram ka jar,
Dabba.
by the way.
Ah.
Yes. Within 4 days, if you finish that dabba, every single day you're getting the entire amount of calcium that you should be getting.
Okay.
But now if
What is-
you go,
Yeah, what is the serving size? There's nothing written here. So let me, if I can pull out another label here. Okay, this is the serving size. Can you see this?
yes.
Hold on. 30 grams, approximately 3 heaped spoonfuls. Okay. And in 200 grams of hot milk, 1 wholesome and nourishing drink. Okay.
So what the serving size here is 30 gram. 30 gram is equal to 3 spoons of this particular powder to be added to milk. What they've mentioned there is 100 gram
Correct.
of the product is giving you 1000 mg, which is the daily calcium requirement. Which means that what they're suggesting here is 30 gram. You have to take 9 of such heaps.
Wow, yeah,
of
30 grams,
product.
more than 9, in fact.
Yes, more than 9.
Yeah.
Only then you're going to get that 1000 mg. So,
So
you
that's the
are
only
getting-
lunch or dinner I'm going to have in that day if I am a woman taking this. Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
super
so this
misleading.
super misleading. 30 gram is giving you 1/3 of the calcium, not giving you your daily calcium requirement. That is how important serving size, percentage RDA, looking at quantity per serving and not quantity per 100 gram is. Because you will be totally misled and you will think this is a super product. I should not buy any calcium supplements. Maybe I should just buy this dabba. And every single day I'm getting 1000 mg. You are not going to get 1000 mg. You're getting 1/3 of it. If you're taking 1 glass of milk with 3 heaps of the powder, and I'm not even getting into how much sugar you're going to get when you're taking these supplements. So to sum it up, look at the ingredients and the complete ingredient, like along with the salt name, that should be present. Quantity per serving should be present. Percentage RDA should be present, and that is that's the only thing that you should be looking at, not quantity per 100 gram or any other serving that they're talking about.
But then there is also tolerable upper limit. You spoke about this in the last discussion.
Yes. So something, the lower limit is something like the RDA or percentage DV, and the higher limit, again defined by ICMR, is the tolerable upper limit. What your aim should be through food plus the supplement that you're taking is that you lie somewhere in between this bracket. Basically, percentage RDA, what I would recommend anybody when they're choosing a supplement, try to look for ingredients which are nearer towards the percentage RDA, maybe more than 50%, 60%. If you're getting 100% of all the ingredients mentioned, that's the best thing. So then you're killing your chances of having food deficiency, right? But at least something like a 60-70% RDA should be present. Only then consider that particular ingredient as a good source of the vitamin or mineral. Otherwise, it doesn't really help.
Got it. Yeah. Then we have one more image here. Do you want to comment on this?
Okay. The things that are really important apart from looking at the serving size, looking at the nutrition label, is the other ingredients mentioned, which are generally mentioned. So these would be preservatives, colorants, sweeteners,
Let me
bulking
read it out
agent.
for you. This particular supplement I can read is, it says ingredients and then it says calcium carbonate, bulking agent INS 460, ferrous fumarate, and then a lot of complex looking names out there, L-ascorbic acid, magnesium oxide, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, these are all the things that you're talking about. These are excipients. I see calcium carbonate also here.
This is a mix of excipients plus active ingredients that are mentioned together here. There should be a tabular form where the active ingredients are separately mentioned. But here, everything is mentioned together. So
Okay.
generally look for the supplement where other ingredients is mentioned, which will always have all of these very chemical looking names, which will be preservatives, which could be colorants, which could be stabilizing agents, all of these. They are generally mentioned in the decreasing order of their quantity. So something which is the highest in the quantity would be mentioned first.
For the
Right.
excipients, yeah.
For the excipients. And try to go for supplements which have very less number of
Other
excipients.
ingredients in it.
Yes, which is also called a clean label supplement. That is something to go for. Although most of these excipients are tested for safety and they are common excipients used between medicines also and here also, they are generally tested and regarded as safe. But it is better to not really have too many of them present in your supplement when you're ingesting it, especially. The smaller the others ingredient, the better. The other thing that should be looked out for is certifications that particular brand might have got, like ISO, GMP certified. These are not mandatory because you don't need to get them to produce these supplements or
Sell these
market.
supplements here in India. Yeah. And we are talking about dietary supplements to just highlight that again. Yeah.
Yes. But if a manufacturer has gone over and beyond and got these third party certifications done, we are ensuring that the quality is going to be better. So look out for certifications, third party certifications. There'll be logos on the, so prefer them over preferring other kind of supplements.
Yeah. We should also talk about what are the common allergen information that you'll find on the supplements. I've seen soy allergy very common. I've seen peanuts and something. What are the other things that I usually mention there? Or is it mandated to mention everything there in
It
dietary
is.
supplements? Okay.
Yes, it is. And you should especially be very careful about, because these are mostly also food derivatives. So if you have certain kinds of allergy, the allergy information is very crucial for you. So anything which would be milk, eggs, fish, tree nuts, wheat, so gluten. Also, people who are vegan would want to look out for certain things. Vegetarian, non-vegetarian, all of these information is mandatory. So it is mentioned, and you should always consider that if you have certain kinds of allergies, you should always look at it before just buying it.
Let's talk about recommended usage here. Then there was something which you spoke about, which was suggested, and now it says recommended. Both are the same things, right? Here, which has
Yes.
no clinical relevance to it, and it's just what is considered as a good practice. It says one tablet daily or as suggested by your healthcare professional here on this label, particularly.
Correct. Mentioning the recommended usage is mandatory, but how descriptive it is to be is up to the manufacturer or the brand. Basically, look at what the suggested usage is. This is very important for certain supplements which are to be taken with food, after food, before food, has to be
Or not to
spaced
be
out.
taken with milk or something. Yeah.
Yes. So you don't want to defeat the purpose of taking the supplement. So recommended dosage is something to always look at. How many to be taken, spacing out, how do you space out? That should generally be mentioned. Otherwise, an expert or your doctor would generally also look at what medicines you're taking. Are they interacting with the supplements that you're trying to take? And so they can plan both medicines and supplements out better.
Got it. I would like to sum this up now. You have to specifically look at the warning signs here. It says pregnant and lactating women are something related to that. Can you read that out for me?
Yes, so it is not to be consumed by the pregnant. Most of the supplements, this warning is always mentioned unless it is something like a prenatal, which is meant for pregnant women. But nonetheless, pregnant and lactating women should always consider talking to their doctor before taking any kind of supplements, because the doctor knows your medical conditions the best. And there are a lot of medicines that you might be taking, or you might have certain kinds of disorders only during those specific periods which your doctor knows about, which where these supplements could maybe not be so fruitful or maybe do more harm than good. So in these conditions, it is always, even if it is something like a simple multivitamin, it's best to always speak to your doctor before taking them, if you're, especially if you're pregnant or lactating.
Got it. So there's one more very common thing that people miss out. It's about how to store these supplements. And would you mind telling me that if I just keep it out, sometimes it says store in a cool, dry place, but most people don't do it. It's either there on the dining table or is in their gym bag or somewhere like that. What is the harm that's causing?
So if you're taking capsules or tablets which are blister packed, so you have to take out one and consume and others are intact, then fine, they can be anywhere. The main problem comes with photosensitive or ingredients, especially something like vitamin C. So they have to be away from direct sunlight. They are also generally dispensed or they're marketed in dark colored bottles so that light does not enter and damage the product. Other than that, probiotics and prebiotics, the drinks that are available, that have to be specially stored in a refrigerator. Otherwise, they might get spoiled. And in turn, if you are taking it, they could have all sorts of problems associated. If you're taking something which is in a bottle, where you take out one and the others are loose in that same bottle, then tightly just sealing it and keeping it somewhere is
Away
better
from the
practice.
sunlight mostly. Yeah.
Yes, because we don't want moisture also to get in, and most of these attract moisture. You would have noticed that tablets getting stuck with each other. That's because of hygroscopic nature of the ingredients present in it. So to avoid that, it is best to tightly screw your tablets, bottles, and keep them. And generally, it's always a good practice to keep none of the tablets or capsules or anything in direct sunlight, right? Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So let me just sum up a couple of interesting insights I have today. First is when you look at the front face of the bottle, there is a quantity mentioned on that this contains about 120 number of capsules in it or tablets in it. That's not important to look at. What's important to look at is the serving size, which is mostly given on the back of that bottle or the packet that you have. Now, serving size is mostly a suggested use case. It's not what is actually or technically recommended. It's the best if you're self-prescribing, go by that. It also tells you how and when to consume that. Some things might be good take with milk. Some things might be good to take with water. So that's what it tells you. But then if you're expert or the clinician or your nutritionist is telling you to take more than that, believe them because they are going and personalizing it for what you need to take. That's one learning I had. Then the other thing is that most supplements, it's not mandated to write everything at the back of the nutrition label. Right? What you should be looking at is not the per 100-gram quantity in it, but mostly per serving distribution of it and the percentage RDA that you're getting it from the supplement on a daily basis. Most supplements will tell you through fancy icons or advertisements that we just saw that it's giving you 100% RDA. Have a look at what you're getting from the serving size of that particular supplement and not just blankly going and believing the claim that they are putting out. Lastly, be very careful of the other ingredients that are put there. They are not mostly harmful, but it's always good to look at some of the allergy informations also available at the back of the packet, the way you need to store that, and the directions of use. So these are a couple of things I learned today for the first time. I usually rely on experts like you to tell me those things. Anything that you would like to sum up before we wrap this episode here?
If you're buying supplements from India or you're buying it from the US, supplements in either places are not controlled by the FDA. So the quality is very important. No two supplements are alike, even though they might look the same, multivitamins, calciums, all of them, even proteins. So it is always good to have an expert look at the supplements that you want to buy and tell you maybe if it's good for you or not good for you, and only then buy it. And of course, spot all of these things in any label so that you are able to filter out most of the poor quality supplements on your own, and you only have select few to choose from, and only then go for a supplement. Just don't buy supplements based on good looking ads.
I think there's too much to learn from what we just spoke about. Let's end this, and in the coming episodes, we discuss more about health supplements and how should you go in and self-prescribe or speak to an expert about it. Thank you so much for this discussion.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Insights by Zarity Health. We hope you enjoyed today's talk and gained valuable insights. If you want to stay updated on our latest episodes, make sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram, wherever you are watching this at. Help us grow by sharing this with anybody you think might find this interesting. And when you need to, you can consult our doctors and nutritionists through our website, zarity.care. We are a telehealth clinic that focuses on chronic care. Our experts spend more time with you to find out the root cause of your symptoms and then treat it with medicine, nutrition, and behavioral changes. And last but not the least, if you have questions that you think we should ask the experts, Don't forget to put them in comments. Thanks once again for tuning in.